Thanks for staying tuned. I'm Colwyn Abrams with the HGP Sportscast. Cobras, Republican Nets and Ravens copped victories on Sunday night in the GABF Road to Mecca 5 at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall. In a game marred with conflict, injury and lengthy timeouts, the Cobras took the first game of the evening right out from under the pace setters. The game got off to a good start with Cobras taking the first quarter with 20 points, 5 more than pace setters. The second quarter then belonged to pace setters as they won this quarter with 25 points and Cobras 10. When the game resumed after a lengthy break, the third quarter was drawn as both teams ended with 20 points. In the fourth quarter, one player was forced off the court after an injury which caused another long break and constant timeouts thereafter until the clock ran to 0 and the final scores were 82-79. The Cobras won this game and are on their way to qualifying for the finals.
The team played well, although we had a back-to-back game. We had a very hard game yesterday, which was the last game that finished like a 1 game. So everybody was a little banged up, but with determination, we came through. Everyone played hard, everyone stuck to the rule, and came out to the W.
The losing coach gave his thoughts on the game.
Yeah, we have allowing the coach from the other team to dictate the game. They are there to officiate, they have to make a decision and it has to stand. They're in charge of the game. They can't let coach come to change their decision. That's utter nonsense.
The second game was between the Republican Nets and the Milius War Jets. This was an intense game as both teams were sporting tough defenses. In the first quarter, Nets ended with 13 points, 1 more than Jets. The second quarter belonged to Jets, who netted 21 points, and Nets 18. The game went net to net into halftime. At the opening of the third quarter, Nets won 25 to Jets 18 points. The final quarter ended with Nets scoring 20 and Jets 25, ending the game in a tie at 76-76. The game went into extra time. Nets captured 10 points to add to their tally to cop the game. In the final game of the evening between Ravens and Bulls, Ravens won this game with 73 points and Bulls 66. Essequibo in command over the select under-17 on day 2 at Everest, while Demerara crumbled on day 1 to Berbice at the Lusignan ground in round 2 of the GCB hand-in-hand under-19 inter-county tournament. Stanford Howard reports.
At Everest, Essequibo won the toss and decided to bat on opening day of round 2. With Vice-Captain Kurt Lovell top scored with 49 off 64 balls, while Captain Kevin Christian contributed with 45 off 85 balls in the innings. Joshua Jones was not out on 27 as well as Joel Fortune, who took 15 balls to acquire 5 runs before the close of play, putting Essequibo in a strong position on 261 for 7 in 84 overs at stumps. Bowling for the select under-17 team, Marvin Pochard picked up 3 for 74, while Sylvester Williams captured 2 wickets for 41 runs thus far. Over at Lusignan on Sunday, Demerara in the opening day in round 2 of their first innings was bowled out for 148 in 49 overs. Bashkar Yadram top scored with 43 off 53 balls, while Adrian Hines supported with 35 and Dwayne Dick with 17. The Barbician captain Kevin Sinclair took 4 scubs for 17 off 10 overs. Keith Simpson picked up 2 for 28. Berbice at stumps were 102 for 5 in 29 overs. Captain Sinclair was the only batsman with a half-century, scoring 58 in 45 balls, while Alex Algoon helped with 15 and Kelvin Anderson remained not out on 16. Bowling for Demerara, Ashmead Ned ripped through the top order, picking up 4 wickets for 41. Dwayne Dick was the other wicket taker. For the HGP Sports, I am Stanford Howard.
Guinea's Troy Doris won gold in the triple jump with his 16.88-meter second-round leap at the Commonwealth Games. Doris finished ahead of Dominica's Jordanis Duranyona and Cameroon's Marcel Mayak, who won silver and bronze respectively. President David Granger extended congratulations to Doris on what he described as a golden achievement after receiving news of the national athlete's outstanding performance. 20 athletes made up the Ghana team at the Commonwealth Games, competing in badminton, boxing, rifle shooting, squash, swimming, table tennis, and track and field. Old Fort dominated Saints under-19, while GCC trumped Sequels on Saturday in the Bounty Paper Towel Second Division Leagues. Stanford has more.
Saints under-19 seemed destined to upset the steadiness of the tournament when the speedy Troy Hodge managed to break the nil-all deadlock of their match against pool leaders Old Forts in the 7th minute. A defense scramble by Old Forts resulted in a penalty stroke for Saints under-19, with Hodge easily converted. National striker Jaleel Gaston evened the score for Old Forts 7 minutes later, and the team scored a goal each through Gaskin for Old Forts and Shaquem Fawcett for Saints just before the half to make the halftime score 2-all. Saints under-19 would take the lead for the 3rd time of the match with a Hilmar Chester strike. But by now, the confidence of Old Forts had received their full complement of players and took control of the game from there on, with a victory over Saints under-19s with a win 7-3. The Sequels never seemed troubled by the opposition of Saints Senior and were after a flying start through 2 early goals from Medroy Scotland, who was the outstanding finisher of the day. Veteran defender Robert Finance entered the game for Saints and brought a measure of stability to the team and sparkled their first goal through Kevin Edwards. A long pass from Finance evaded the GCC deep defense and found the breaking Edwards, who gave Saints its opening goal in the 14th minute. Philip Finance resumed the momentum for GCC, however, with a solo effort and a solid finish, which was followed by a hat-trick of goals from former national Devon Hooper, before Finance added a final goal high in the Saints net to give GCC its 7th goal of the match. Yannick Peters of Saints managed a penalty corner late in the 2nd half, but proved to be far from troubling for the Sequels, who finished with a 7-2 victory. For the HGP Sports, I am Stanford Howard.
Thank you, Stanford. A combination of international and Guyanese-based players were shortlisted for the Caribbean Football Union Women's Challenge Series tournament. 20 players from the senior national women's squad, known as the Lady Jags, were shortlisted by the Ghana Football Federation to represent the Golden Arrowhead from April 23 to 30 in Trinidad and Tobago at the Caribbean Football Union Women's Challenge Series tournament. The squad consists of 2 goalkeepers, 5 defenders, 9 midfielders, and 4 forwards from both the Guyana and international-based pool of players. The announcement was made on the evening of Friday last at a meeting held at the GFF boardroom by Aquila Costello, the newly appointed assistant coach. Ghana has been placed in Group E of the 5-group tournament with Suriname and Grenada, and will have its first match against Grenada on April 25 at the Atto Bolden Stadium. The second match is scheduled for April 27 against Suriname, and they will face host Trinidad and Tobago on April 29. The format includes 4 teams placed in 5 groups. The matches in each group will be played in round-robin format, each team playing 1 match against each of the other teams in the same group. The tournament will be held from the 18th to 29th of April and will be played in St. Kitts and Nevis, Jamaica, Haiti, Antigua and Barbuda, and Trinidad and Tobago. Head coach Dr. Ian Joseph said the coaching staff is looking forward to these exhibition matches to build cohesion as well as to assess playing strengths of the team. And that has brought us to the end of this edition of the HGP Sportscast. Before we go, remember, life is like a sport. Always remember to play fair. Goodbye.